I have used many of the trading platforms that are available in Canada. And by far, Moomoo and Webull are the worst I've ever used, at least for my needs. Moomoo is worse than Webull in my eyes. However, it seems like these two platforms are skins on top of the same app. It's such a shame since we need more competition in Canada for financial services. All right, let's try and make this constructive instead of me just bitching about things. Firstly, it was incredibly easy to set things up on both platforms. They have very attractive transfer bonuses when you're moving investments from other brokerages. My transfers between Wealthsimple to both Moomoo and Webull were very smooth. Both platforms have reasonable trading fees, around $2 to $3. So on paper, these platforms are not bad. However, things are very different when you actually use the platform. I am an index investor. I buy VEQT every month, and that's pretty much it. For my use case, both Webull and Moomoo, the app itself, it just seemed way too cluttered. I have the Webull app opened now, and you can see that majority of the tabs are of no use for me. On the bottom there are 5 views that you can go over. The first one is the watch list. Like I said, I only invest in VEQT, so that's a useless tab for me. The next one over is markets. This could be useful if you're interested in investing in different stocks or ETFs, or you invest in different markets like US or international. But I only invest in VEQT, so this is pretty much useless for me. The next one over is the one that I use the most. This is the one that houses all of your accounts. So in my case, it's the RRSP. The next one over is the feeds tab. I think this is like a social media platform. Useless tab for me. To be honest, I don't know why anybody would use this. It seems like spammy comments with no real moderation. Seems like an awful place to be. The next one over is labeled more, and I feel like the only thing I come here for is the help center and my rewards. The rest of the space is just, again, spam of random ads, random promotions, random challenges, and I ignore all of it. So as you can see here, most of the views like markets and the feed I don't use, and I feel like they clutter the space up. All right, next, let's go over what the experience looks like when you buy an ETF. All right, so we will try and buy VEQT in my RRSP account. That is pretty simple to do. You can see that there is already a VEQT ticker within my accounts. Since I already bought it before, I can simply click it and click the big green buy button there. You can see that the UI is quite information dense, and as a simple index VEQT buy and chill investor, this is quite a lot of information for me. Luckily, the UI is quite customizable, so you can hide all of this extra information, and this is what the UI or the simplified UI looks like. One disadvantage of Webull is that you can't buy fractional shares, and also another thing that I really miss is there is no option to automatically buy a stock recurringly. This is something I really miss from Wealthsimple. To summarize my thoughts here, Webull is a bad platform for me, especially for my use case where I just buy and hold VEQT. Ideally, I buy it automatically on like a weekly basis, and this is something that Webull does not support. On top of that, the amount of ads that I see in the platform, also the posts that I see on the feed tab, I think if you combine all of that, it makes it one of the worst platforms for a buy and hold investor. Yeah, and those are all of my thoughts about Webull. I will be creating another video about my thoughts on Moomoo. Believe it or not, Moomoo is even worse than Webull. So watch out for that video. I will be moving back to Wealthsimple as soon as I can. If you want to learn about why I moved to Webull in the first place, check out my previous video, and I'll see you guys next time.